Parents, what's the most shocking thing a teacher said about your child? My daughter's art teacher pulled me aside after the school talent show. We need to talk about Sophie's painting. I smiled, expecting praise. Sophie had spent weeks on her sunset landscape for the competition. Did you paint this for her? Excuse me? Ms. Rodriguez crossed her arms. There's no way a third grader created something this advanced. The technique, the color blending, the perspective. It's professional level work. I stared at her, confused. Sophie's been painting since she was 4. She watches YouTube tutorials every day after school. Right. Look, I get it. Parents want their kids to win. Competition is fierce these days, but this is fraud. My stomach dropped. Do you think I cheated for my 8-year-old? I'm disqualifying her entry and recommending her for behavioral counseling. She needs to learn that lying has consequences. I felt my face getting hot. Lying about what exactly? Claiming she painted something she clearly didn't. It's concerning behavior for someone so young. Sophie appeared beside us, still wearing her little dress from the show. Mommy, did I win? Ms. Rodriguez knelt down to Sophie's level. Sweetheart, it's okay to tell the truth. Did Mommy help you with your painting? Sophie's face scrunched up. You mean like when she bought me the brushes? No, honey. Did she actually paint it for you? Why would Mommy paint it? It's my painting. Ms. Rodriguez stood up and gave me a knowing look. Children will protect their parents. This just confirms my suspicions. That night, Sophie cried herself to sleep. She kept asking why her teacher didn't believe her. I was furious, but knew I had to handle this carefully. The next morning, I showed up to class with a blank canvas, brushes, and a full set of paints. Half the parents were dropping off their kids when I walked into the classroom. Sophie, honey, could you paint something for us? Right now? Ms. Rodriguez rolled her eyes. This proves nothing. She could have practiced this specific piece. Then you pick what she paints. Other parents started gathering around, curious about the commotion. Ms. Rodriguez looked uncomfortable with the audience, but couldn't back down now. Fine, paint a butterfly. Sophie sat down at the little easel I'd set up. She studied the blank canvas for a moment, then started mixing colors on her palette. Her tiny hands moved confidently, blocking out basic shapes first. She's actually doing it, whispered another parent. Within 10 minutes, Sophie had created a detailed monarch butterfly. Perfect wing patterns, realistic shading, even tiny highlights that made it look three-dimensional. The classroom went completely silent. Other kids pressed closer to watch. Parents pulled out their phones to record. The detail work, Ms. Rodriguez whispered, leaning in closer. Sophie wasn't done. She added a delicate flower beneath the butterfly, then started painting what looked like morning dewdrops on the petals. Each drop caught imaginary light perfectly. How is she doing that? Another teacher asked, having been drawn by the crowd. 25 minutes later, Sophie set down her brush. Done! The butterfly looked like it might fly off the canvas. The whole room erupted in amazed chatter. Ms. Rodriguez stared at the painting, then at Sophie, then back at the painting. I don't understand how some kids are just gifted, I said calmly. Maybe try believing in them instead of assuming the worst. Sophie looked up at her teacher with those big 8-year-old eyes. Can I enter the district competition now? Ms. Rodriguez nodded slowly, still in shock. Yes, sweetie, absolutely. The principal had heard the commotion and walked in just as Sophie finished. He took one look at the painting and immediately called the district art coordinator. You need to see this child's work, he said into his phone. Sophie won first place at the district art fair 2 months later. Her painting now hangs in the school's main hallway with a special plaque. Ms. Rodriguez? She started an advanced art program and personally recommended Sophie for the Gifted Arts Academy. She also sent us a handwritten apology note that Sophie keeps in her art supply box. Sometimes adults need to remember that extraordinary kids truly exist.